Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we are live on a Monday following the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm still upset about the loss. I'm still heartbroken about the Cam Skattebo injury. But as I went back and watched the tape this afternoon, after I put out some videos this morning, I rewatched the game last night, watched the all 22 coaches film this afternoon, and I feel like we're going to say this a lot. Despite the loss, the New York Giants might just have their franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart. The way that he played yesterday tells me that if the New York Giants can surround him with talent, get him a head coach that can maximize his talent, and a general manager that can build a roster around him, he is the type of quarterback that could put trophy number 5 in the case at 1925 New York Giants Drive. I thought Jackson Dart was awesome yesterday for the Giants. He dug them out of holes. He made plays on third down. And what he said after the game yesterday at the podium, it fired me up. And it gave me belief that he is the guy for the job. We also have a major update on Cam Skattebo to get into. We'll dive into that coming up in a second. But if everybody could spam the comments for me, let's get the real ones going. It's easy to jump off the train when you're 2-6. Is that what they are right now? 2-6. It's easy to stop watching Giants content. It's easy to stop supporting this team. But if you bleed Giants blue, no matter what, and you love the New York Giants, and you're watching Giants Now and being a real one, give me a real one down below. Appreciate everybody for tuning into today's video. Get those real ones going. And this is a word from Cam Skattebo, who just reportedly, who is leaving the hospital today. Scataboo tweeting out, "Thank you everyone for the support. Surgery went well. I just want to thank the city of Philly for taking the best care of me. Every moment I spent in the hospital with family and friends, I felt loved and supported in every way. Thank you to the doctors, surgeons, and staff that did their best work on me. This is just the beginning of my journey, and I can't wait to show you guys all about it. God has a plan for me. Stick to the course, and it will all work itself out. Be right back. Let's effing go." Andrew Connell, I get chills reading those words from Cam Skattebo. My heart breaks for the young man, and I think it's going to be one of those revenge tours and comeback stories that we talk about for a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm ready to see him come back. I want to watch him play football right now. I wish he could go out and play a game right now. He's a guy that I would never bet against, even before he was a Giant. And you just watch him play football in college, and you're like, this guy's got something. He's a dog. So I think everyone across the sports world, no matter who you root for, is praying for him. They love watching him play football, and I think the game is better when he's playing.
Yeah, and I thought you said it great. This is someone I wish we could go watch play football right now. The fact that surgery went well is awesome. This was a scary surgery for Cam Skattebo. This was an emergency surgery. It was a compound fracture of his leg, ankle, whatever you want to call it, that poked through the skin. And we just saw a couple weeks ago, I think it was Fred Warner, he had a dislocated ankle, and he waited until Tuesday to get the surgery. Scataboo could not do that. There was significant fear that this was going to get infected, and there were people on the internet saying that they better take care of this quickly, or it could be a similar situation to what we saw with Alex Smith many years ago. This was a horrible injury. This is one that is going to take a lot to come back from. But if there's anybody built to do it, it's Cam Skattebo. He's going to attack this rehab relentlessly. He loves playing for this fan base. He loves playing for this football team. He just loves playing football. and he's going to do everything he can under his power to go out and play. But the fact that the surgery went well, he's reportedly going to be discharged from the hospital today. Doesn't sound like there were, or there could be going forward, some infections. That was a scary moment yesterday. And I think we all kind of maybe didn't realize what was going on because of being in a game and that just mentality of, all right, next man up. But this is something that was very serious. It was an emergency surgery, and it sounds like he's going to be all right. And a potential full recovery sounds like it could be in the cards for Cam Skattebo.
Yeah, I think we've seen, like, when he's putting all his energy into something, in this case it was playing football for the New York Giants, it's a scary sight in a good way. And I think when he's attacking that rehab 100%, I wouldn't put anything past him. So hopefully he makes a full recovery. We're all praying for him. We all want him to come back. I think everyone on the Giants, everyone in the sports world just loves watching him play. And yeah, scary moment, especially when you mentioned something like Alex Smith and kind of the impact and the seriousness of that kind of injury. You just never want to see stuff like that happen to anyone. So shout out to whatever hospital he was at. I'm not sure if that's public, but they did a great job, all the doctors, just giving him the best care possible for him as a human, not even for him as a football player. So
yeah, this goes beyond the football field. At this point, this is about the human being, Cam Skattebo. While we were all at home last night beating ourselves up and complaining and whining about the game, this is a guy that's being rushed into surgery. This is a guy that's having to get IV'd up. And also he's realizing that his rookie season that he has worked his entire life to get to is out the door. And that is – look, I'm obviously not in those shoes. We've never been in those shoes, but that is demoralizing for anybody. I'm sure he's heartbroken. I mean, Pro Football Doc David Chow on Twitter yesterday, he said, this is similar to Aiden Hutchinson, also Alex Smith, but hopefully without the infection, surgery, and good recovery for next season. Extremely scary, and from everything we're hearing, it sounds like it did go well. Hopefully he could be back for week 1, but at this point, I'm just hoping for the best recovery for Cam Skattebo to be able to get back to being the human and live the life that he was at 1 p.m. when that game kicked off, man. This is a kid that grabbed the fan base's heart. He injected life and juice and just overall a competitive spirit to this football team that they haven't had in a while. And man, I'm upset. I'm still heartbroken. That one was one of the tougher injuries that we've seen. I mean, his foot is pointing the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's
it's just like the one thing that you see when there's like a tough sports injury, or I'll use the word gruesome because I think that definitely qualifies. When you see the reaction of other players on both teams, you immediately see, I think it was Greg Van Roten, double arm waving the medical staff out onto the field. They cut to Jackson Dart, who's, profane, just like in shock in the moment, turning and looking. When you see guys turn and look the other way, that's never good. And then even like Scataboo initially when someone puts their hands on their head, they're just in shock. Oh my God, my leg. It's
he tried to get up and walk off.
Yeah, he was.
That's the type of person, competitor, and warrior that Cam Skattebo is. He initially taps his head. He's like, oh, my God, what happened? He looks down, sees it. Then he tries to get his hands up from his teammates to walk off. This guy was trying to walk off the field with a broken ankle and a bone pierced through his skin. Man, he's a special person. Man, my heart breaks for the dude. It really does. Appreciate everybody in the building. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. We're going to dive into a couple of different segments on today's show. We are going to do a mailbag as well. So please hit that thumbs up icon. And if you have liked the video, give me a 44 down in the comment section We'll give some shout-outs on today's show. Shout out to King Kev, Reckless, Connor, what up? Patchu in the building as well. Greg Congdon, Remy, Jose, Shadow, Ray, Gregory, Michael, Indy, Sam, the Big Moo, Rich P, what up? NYG fan for life. Appreciate everybody for being here. Appreciate everybody for clicking on today's video. Major Cam Skattebo injury update. He is reportedly leaving the hospital today. Surgery went well. He has released a statement, and he is on the road to recovery. And Brian Daboll said he is expected I'll get the exact quote here. I don't want to mess that up. But it sounds like he's going to start rehab ASAP.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I got a push notification. I don't know if it said where it was from or who said it, but yeah, rehab's going to begin immediately, and I wouldn't expect anything else from a guy like Cam Skattebo. He's probably like trying to get PT on it right now as they're wheeling him out of the hospital. So whatever the timeline is for whatever his injury is, it wouldn't shock me if he beats whatever they're going to physically give him and whatever's physically possible for his injury. It's not going to be, if he's not back and he's not ready by a certain point, it's not because he didn't try.
Yeah, Evan Barnes, who covers the New York Giants for Newsday Sports, tweeting out Cam Skattebo has been discharged from the hospital after surgery. Giants say he'll begin rehab immediately for that dislocated ankle, and no timetable has been announced. I'm sure Scat is going to be trying to come back week 1 of next season, but take your time with this. Make sure you are ready to go, and there's no reason to rush this at this point. It's a pretty damn scary injury. We are going to get into a mailbag on today's video. We've got a segment. I got to talk a little bit about Jackson Dart, what I saw on the tape, and we're going to go over some quotes and some internet reactions about Jackson Dart and the way he played against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then we're going to do a mailbag on today's show. If you want to guarantee your spot on the mailbag, you could send in a super chat. If you want to get your question in and have that up to the decision of producer Andrew Connell, just comment your question down below. Use that hashtag Giants. That way we can pull your question through our software and we can get that up on screen. We want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions up on screen. The best way you can do that is by using hashtag Giants in your comment or going ahead and super chatting. All right, let's talk a little bit about the game yesterday that went on. A game that it felt closer than, or you could say it two ways. The score felt closer than the way the teams were playing, but at one point the game was 7-7, and there was a fumble on the ground, and the New York Giants had recovered it. I just go back to this. I know that there's a lot of reasons why the New York Giants are 2-6 and where they're at. The thing that I'm most disappointed in is this defense. This was the defense that was hyped up all offseason long. You spent the most money on the defense. You picked an edge rusher 3rd overall. You're a top 5 highest paid defense. That's why I believe you lost the football game. Your defense did not play well enough. If you were going to think you're going to get into a shootout with the Philadelphia Eagles and win that football game, I think you're just sorely mistaken, and we kind of saw it yesterday. So for me, I think the defense gets a lot of blame, but I think there's just more – there's reasons why the defense lost you that game, and things of that nature, I guess, is how I would say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a big one. I think you talked about it a lot in some of the videos we did, and like Joe Shane has to get some hits for assembling this roster, and we were talking during the stream, like this team, some people are like, this team has talent, and they do have talent, but like you said, they're extremely top-heavy, and they don't have a lot of depth, and I think you can see no matter how many quote-unquote star players you may have or high-end, high-caliber players, football is a team game, and you're only as good as your weakest link. And the Giants have some weak links on the back end of that defense, and it's costing them right now because they're giving up a lot of points.
I know that there's injuries to the corner. Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland did not play, but you got tore up on the ground. That's where you got tore up yesterday. He gave up over 100 yards to Saquon Barkley. He gave up 100 yards to Tank Bigsby. And the problem that continues to haunt the New York Giants is they cannot stop the run. 5 years in a row, they have been bottom 8 in the National Football League when it comes to rushing yards allowed per game. That was an issue that Joe Shane was supposed to fix his first year here, and he has not really gotten close to that. My guy, the Big Moo, coming in with a $2 super chat. We appreciate you, brother. What is the definition of a hip drop tackle, Marshy? The Big Moo, I appreciate you being here. I will just hip drop tackle NFL definition. Look, I personally thought it was a hip drop tackle. It's also a bang play and a 15-yard penalty and a fine to Zach Bond. It doesn't bring Cam Skattebo back, so we can argue till we're blue in the face about what it is. I'll just say this: a hip drop tackle has nothing to do with where the defender wraps up the ball carrier. A lot of people yesterday on Twitter were tweeting me, Marshall, he wrapped him up around the shoulders. It can't be a hip drop tackle. The reason it's called a hip drop tackle is because you are essentially dropping your hip as the tackler, using your body weight to bring the player down instead of tackling and driving. And look, it's hard enough to tackle anyone in the NFL. I liked what Carl Banks said today. Do what you got to do to get people on the ground. But the rules are the rules. And again, a 15-yard penalty and a fine doesn't bring you back. I think it was. He used his body weight while wrapped up, and he just dropped. So it was a pass where Scataboo had to jump up to go and get it. Again, bang play. I don't think anyone would say the referees did a good job yesterday. And to be fair, they didn't do a good job on either side. Giants got bailed out a couple of times, too. The touchdown pass to Cam Skattebo, John Runyon tackled the interior defensive lineman for the Eagles. Jackson Dart threw a pass that was clearly a fumble, and they changed that to being an incomplete pass. So I think we can say everybody that is employed by the NFL to be refs needs to do better. Did the Giants lose because of the refs yesterday? Maybe. What happens if the New York Giants go down after that fumble, Andrew Connell, and they go up 14-7?
Yeah, we'll see. We see that the momentum could change, the energy can change, and we've seen that a lot in a lot of these Giants games is the momentum. They haven't been able to consistently keep the momentum. And when they do, look at what happened against Philly that first game. When they had that momentum the entire game, they're a much better football team. So you never know. It's a game of what ifs. You could say what if about every single play and something goes differently and who knows. But, yeah, I mean, that certainly would have been a much better position than the one they were in. Instead, when they went down, I think it would have been tied and they would have had the ball.
There's a lot of fuss about the offensive pass interference that's called. I'm more worked up about the tush-push play. You were still down, 10-plus points if that Darius Slayton touchdown would have counted. You would have had to put together an all-time comeback. And look, maybe you could have did that. I'm not going to rule out anything with Jackson Dart at quarterback and just the willpower to win that he possesses. But, man, you strip the ball, force a fumble via Kayvon Thibodeaux on Jalen Hurts. It should be Giants ball going the other way. Instead, 2 plays later, Saquon Barkley receiving touchdown, 14-7, and the game was essentially over at that point.
Yeah, that, and then you take into effect, I think, just the energy that the team lost after Scataboo goes down, and I felt like we had it here. I'm sure everyone at home had the same thing. You just kind of have that downtrodden feeling after he went out. He's the guy that kind of brings the juice and the energy for the entire team, and that's something they're going to have to figure out because they're not going to play with him the rest of the season, and they need that in order to win. Someone needs to fire them up. So it's tough. And listen, I'm no expert either, so I don't know whether or not it was a technical by the rule hip drop tackle or what the rule is or whether they should have flagged him or whether they'll fine him or whatnot. One thing I will say is most of the rules in the NFL are geared for the offense, and it's hard to play defense with the way they have the amount of flags they usually throw. So I I think whatever the rule is, they should call it that way, and obviously you never want to see anyone get hurt, but I will say that it's hard to play defense with all the different rules in today's NFL.
And, how are you supposed to stop the tush push? They're allowed to push the ball forward until they're not, but even when they are, it's called forward progress, but they would have spotted the ball where the play finished. They weren't going to spot the ball where Kayvon Thibodeaux ripped it away. They would have stopped the play and spotted it when the play was over. It was a botch call by the referees. I wish the NFL, and look, the NBA, people believe it's rigged. You believe it whatever you want. I wish the NFL did something similar to the NBA did, where it's the last 2-minute report where you talk about the flags that were right and they're wrong. Do it the entire game. You want to provide clarity? You want to dismiss the idea that your league is rigged? Roger Goodell, after every game, have people in New York, I don't give a shit where they are, grade the refs and let it be public knowledge. How about you come out with a statement today and say, we botched the call on the forward progress. It should have been a fumble. It should have been the Giants football. We messed up. Does that fix anything? No. Does it make me smile a little bit? Yeah, it does. It makes me a little bit happier about what happened yesterday. How about some accountability for the referees? There never is. Players get fined when they do things that are wrong. Coaches get fired when they do things that are wrong. I rip Joe Shane when he does bad things. How come the refs are never accountable? Yeah. It's very easy to show that this league is not rigged. And I'm not saying the league is rigged. I don't believe in that at all. But holy shit, yesterday was one of the most one-sided shit jobs referees I have ever seen in my 31 years on this earth.
Yeah, and it's I think that's a great point about reviewing things or bringing accountability. I thought your point also about how they should have let the play go. I thought they're supposed to, in anything, let the play out. They can always go back and correct it. If it wasn't a fumble, they can just move the ball back and whatever. But it does happen, and who knows if it was that play, they didn't let it play out, but where there are fumbles and they stop guys from running and then they take points that could have been on the board. So I agree. I'm always on the side of let the play out, and you can always go back and fix it retroactively. So
there's no reason to blow that whistle early. In fact, they didn't blow the whistle early. They blew the whistle after the Giants already had the football, but they said they blew the whistle earlier, even though no one freaking heard it. It was a terrible ref job by the refs yesterday. Did the Giants lose because of that? No, I don't think they did. But holy shit, I'd like to have a game 7-7 where we have the football and we're able to go drive and take the lead instead of being down 14-7 with a free touchdown on the board for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Who knows? I would like to play that game again with that under different circumstances as well. We'll never know. Giants don't get another shot at Philly again until next year, but it's definitely frustrating when started slow and then they kind of rebounded and kind of got back into the game, and you thought, okay, they may actually have a chance here, and then some things are out of their hands and spirals out of control.
Unreal, man. It was brutal. There were plays I went back and watched. Abdul Carter's being held all game long. The defensive pass interference that they called on Corey Black, where the wide receiver Cooper for the Eagles literally throws him down like that. Then the offensive passer, you would have thought the replacement refs were back if you're old enough to remember that.
Oh, man.
Big Blue Boss, my man, $5 Super Chat. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. All Super Chats get up on screen. Over 600 people watching. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon for me. Would really appreciate it. Says, you've been on Joe Shane's case for a while now, and I can't defend him anymore. But how do you feel about Daboll? Because I think he should go too. Look, I've been pretty vocal. I think Joe Shane has done some good things. And in the moment, a lot of things he does make sense. But at the end of the day, you don't win games in the offseason, Andrew Connolly. You don't win games because you get a high draft grade from Marshall Green or from Pro Football Focus. You got to have those players deliver results. And so far, the results have not been delivered. I don't care if the Giants and Joe Shane pick Jackson Dart. There's enough evidence out there and things that I heard that I'm pretty damn confident. The only reason they picked Jackson Dart was because of Brian Daboll. They wanted to draft Another quarterback, we all know who it is. There's a reason there were so many rumors in the regular season of the Giants 2024 season about what quarterback they wanted. You know why? Because the head coach, they don't scout during the season. The front office does. Where was Joe Shane every weekend? Boulder, Colorado at their practice, at their football games. How many football games did you hear that he went to Ole Miss for? The reason is that Ole Miss is because he has a daughter, I believe, that went there. Look, good job picking Jackson Dart, but at the end of the day, I don't believe that Joe Shane can hit on that many more picks and that many more free agency moves and that many more trades to build a Super Bowl contender around Jackson Dart. I would have fired him all last year. It was an easy reset button. 3rd pick in the draft, 5 picks inside the top 100, $50+ million in cap space. They didn't do it. So now you're stuck with it. And I'll toss this to you, Andrew, and I'll just end with this. This feeling we have would feel a hell of a lot different if the Giants had a new GM and a new coach with Jackson Dart playing the way he is in year 1. But instead, you have a 4th-year GM, a 4th-year head coach, and I could make the argument the roster is in a worse spot than it was when you took over a roster, didn't do anything in the offseason, and led them to the playoffs. That wasn't a Joe Shane roster. That was a Dave Gettleman roster, and he sucks too.
Yeah. Listen, the results have certainly not been there for Joe Shane, and like you said, now that the fact that they're in year 4 and Dart's in year 1, it kind of you're on these mixed timelines, and it gives you this conundrum of what to do, because then if you fire them, then you bring in a new regime, and it's like it's not technically the quarterback they drafted, although we've actually talked about this before, that anyone would sign up probably to work with Jackson Dart the way he's playing already. So kind of just a messy situation, not a clean organizational alignment potentially if they decide to move on from Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, and then you already have the quarterback, which is a good thing, but you like to always have those things aligned if you can. I'll say this about Joe Shane. He's very much, I think, like a measured, like analytical thinking and like just like not aggressive. And I think he could be a little more football, just watch it, like have conviction and like the eye test on some guys. But I think the way he looks at things is in a spreadsheet with cap dollar and things like this. And sometimes you just need to watch good football players and pick good football players. He's like, okay, running back, we can't pay running back a lot of money because we need to spend that money on quarterback and edge rusher and all this, and like safety. And you had a good running back and you had a good safety and you let him go. And sometimes it's like, those are just good football players. You want to get as many good football players on your team as possible. Doesn't matter where you pick them or how much you're paying who. You need to think about that. And the Giants front office before did not think about like that at all. They were all the other way and just old school eye tests. So I think Joe Shane did a good job in bringing the Giants front office maybe into the modern era, but he needs a little more of just football. Think about it from a football perspective and not from a, I don't know what you want to say, spreadsheet analytical.
You're 100% on the money. He lives and makes decisions in the spreadsheet. Shout out to Bobby Skinner. He pulled a quote from a Joe Shane press conference. I believe it was after the year. I couldn't remember if it was before free agency. But he was asked by a reporter, I believe it was Connor Hughes of SNY, of what do you make of all the players that are in your building, that leave your building and have success? And Joe Shane was like, who in specific? He was like, well, Xavier McKinney, Julian Love, Saquon Barkley, da-da-da-da. And he goes, well, I love Tyler Nubin. Tyler Nubin was in the 99th percentile of rookies that got snaps on defense. Who thinks like that to judge a player that's good? He had 99% of the snaps. He was the only rookie to do that. Tyler Nubin stinks.
I watched him get blown by on a poor angle by Saquon Barkley on the first play of the game or second play of the game yesterday. That doesn't tell me he's very good.
Do you know what this number is? It's the number of pass breakups that Tyler Nubin has in 22 games in the National Football League. Think about it like this. You had Julian Love at your starting safety and Xavier McKinney at your starting safety when you took over. You let Xavier McKinney walk for nothing. You let Julian Love walk for nothing. And you replace them with a worse safety with almost the same contract in Javon Holland. And you picked Tyler Nubin in round 2. And the reason you got that round 2 pick was you traded Leonard Williams. You turned Leonard Williams, Julian Love, and Xavier McKinney into Javon Holland and Tyler fucking Nubin.
Yeah. That's what the model told him. That's what
Andrew, he had 99% of the snaps as a rookie. He was the only rookie to do so. Who thinks like that?
Yeah, like I get that, and like listen, I think like one of the big criticisms of the Giants' prior regime was that they were too old school and they needed to be brought into the modern age. So credit to him for doing that. I don't think he's the only person who could have done that. I think pretty much any GM hire would have been more modern than the existing regime. I'm thinking back to the COVID draft when you see Dave Gettleman with the ginormous binder as he's flipping through it, making draft selections. But
cool LED board in the fucking scouting room.
Yeah, like I don't think that would have been particular to Joe Shane. Anyone would have been able to bring them further into the future from what they were dealing with. So sometimes you need to think a little bit like that and just watch a guy play football. And if you watch the Giants play football, it's pretty easy to tell Tyler Nubin is not a good football player.
But he played 99% of the snaps his rookie year. And how many times do we have to hear after a rookie draft class where the Giants win less than 10 games? And it's, well, our rookies played more snaps than anybody else in the NFL.
Why is that?
You know why? Because the roster you built stinks. And you had all the good players leave and you brought back shit in return.
Oh, man.
There's a reason your rookies have to pay.
Yeah,
play.
The best organizations always have the rookies who sit and then they come in and they take over.
You mean develop?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't do that. No, we trade Leonard Williams for a second-round pick to draft a safety to replace the safety that had 10-plus interceptions the year he left us.
All pro.
Oh, and then a guy like Julian Love becomes a starter and a captain and a beautiful player for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, and another thing about Joe Shane, while we're on the topic, because I don't like to pile on, but I think he made a habit of kind of like lowballing guys on contract extensions, probably like maybe underneath their market value, but trying to get them early. Like Dexter Lawrence, he makes a lot of money, but like you look at some of the contracts that have been signed for guys of his caliber, despite how he's playing this year, was probably a little bit of a low number. Same thing with Andrew Thomas, who agreed to that extension. Probably a low number for the top end of his position market, which I think you'd say both of those guys were. I think they lowballed Julian Love, not that he was a top safety.
2 years, $12 million, what they offered him.
He ended up signing the exact same deal with Seattle, just out of principle because the Giants lowballed him.
He came back to the Giants and gave him a chance to match, and they said no.
Oh, my God.
They said no.
And we know other famous cases of him doing that as well.
So to answer your question, no, I don't think Joe Shane deserves to keep his job because he stumbled upon Jackson Dart. A broken clock is right two times every single day. And for Brian Daboll, look, do I think Brian Daboll is an elite head coach? No, I don't really believe so. Do I think that Brian Daboll do I think he can be? I do think he can be a good head coach. Do I love the attitude, the swagger, the confidence, and the will to win that he has? Yes. Do I like the partnership and marriage of Jackson Dart and Brian Daboll? Yes. But Jackson Dart's good enough to where he can go get a new head coach next year. I would love for that to be the head coach and the quarterback duo. I like Brian Daboll as a human being. I don't know if he's an elite coach. And in this sport, you need an elite coach. Can he be? I don't know. I hope so. I think so. But I said it last year, and I still believe it to my core. They should have fired both their asses last year. They should have went and hired a new head coach. They should have went out and got a new GM, and they didn't. And now, just this whole season is a picture that is being painted of you refuse to make moves in the offseason, and you are now paying the price. You didn't hire a new GM. Now you're in year 4 of the GM, and it's actually you're 2-6. Again, you didn't hire a new head coach. You're 2-6. You didn't go out and add weapons in free agency. You didn't add weapons via the draft. You brought back 10 of the 11 starters on an offense that had the 31st most points per game scored last year. And guess what? You had little Jordan Humphrey, Bo Collins, and Darius $36 million Slayton as the weapons for your rookie quarterback in his 5th start in the NFL. John Mara is once famously quoted as saying, "We did everything to screw this kid up," and they did. That other guy wasn't talented enough to overcome it. Jackson Dart is talented enough to overcome it, and they're still screwing this kid up by the moves they refuse to make. But guess what? Their rookies play a lot every single year. Their salary cap sheets are clean, and they don't have any good players, really. The Joe fucking Shane Giants. And guess what? You're 2-6 or worse for the 8th time in 9 years. Are we all having fun yet?
Well, we'll take a break from that, which I think felt good. I think everyone feels the same way, to celebrate this guy who popped in.
My man Ty Dubs coming in with a $100 super chat. We appreciate you, my man. I appreciate you. I can't do it right now. I'm too pissed off.
All right.
I appreciate you, Ty Dubs.
Shout out to you, Ty Dubs.
Give me some TDs in the chat. $100 super chat. We appreciate you, man. Says, just stopped by to show some love. Wasn't around yesterday. Family emergency. Keep up the great work, boys. Hey, Ty Dubs, you're a legend on this channel, bro. We appreciate you. I'm not in a good mood. I'm pissed off. I was in a good mood. Then I had to come talk about the New York Giants and this inept franchise run by Joe Shane. I hope he's only the general manager this year, going into next year, so when I go to the NFL Combine again, I can ask him another question about how shit of a job he's doing. That's where I'm at on this. Ty Dubs, we love you. We appreciate you. We're praying for you. Hopefully the family emergency is not that severe. I'm going to keep you in my thoughts and prayers. We'll keep your family in your thoughts and prayers. $100 super chat, man. That's unreal. You don't have to do that. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting AC. We appreciate you, man. If everyone could give me a TD in the chat, I would appreciate it, man.
Yep, we appreciate you, Ty Dubs. I'll echo that 100%. Thinking about you. Hopefully everything's okay. And, yeah, we love you.
So to go back to the super chat before, what do I think about Brian Daboll? You need to fire the GM, and it is literally organizational malpractice to fire a GM and keep a head coach. Because then you're narrowing your search of a GM of saying, we're only going to hire GMs that want Brian Daboll as the coach. And that makes no sense. So they're a package deal. They've always been a package deal. They came in together. Let's sweep their asses back to Buffalo. Joe Shane will never be another NFL GM again. That's how bad of a job he's been. And for Brian Daboll, I really like the man, Brian Daboll. I'd love to crush a 6-pack of beers with Dabes tonight and talk football. He knows more football than I ever wish I could know. But it's a game in a league about results. The New York Giants are 5-20 in their last 25 games. They've lost 10 straight road games, a record for the Giants. Like, if you want to create what's the chart, a Venn diagram with all the different pieces of the pie chart? You want to talk about why they should keep their job versus why they shouldn't keep it? There's a lot more red about why they should be fired than any reason they should keep it. I'll ask everyone in the chat, what's the reason they should keep their jobs? There's one answer, Jackson Dart. And if the only thing you have, Andrew Connell, in 5 years as a general manager is you picked a rookie quarterback that's had success and he's having to overcome the hurdles of your dog shit roster, that's a problem. Because in year 4, you're supposed to have built the roster to support a rookie quarterback. What the hell were you doing the first 4 years? Oh, I know. Bye-bye Saquon. Bye-bye Xavier McKinney. Bye-bye Julian Love. Bye-bye Leonard Williams.
Yep. And I think if you said it without saying what it was, that they only did one thing right in 4 years, everyone would say fire them. And then the only reason you give a second of pause to it is because it's the quarterback position, which just is as important as it is. But like we said, Joe Shane really doesn't get much responsibility for that. And to your point about, like, if they would fire Shane and keep Daboll, like, kind of all the goodwill and the attractiveness that would come out of a job by having Jackson Dart as your quarterback would probably get negated by the fact that GM wouldn't be able to pick their own head coach, in terms of looking at how attractive a Giants general manager job would be. So I think keeping them as a package deal is probably the way to go. You don't want to be dealing with a power struggle situation either by keeping one of them or then bringing someone else in who wasn't married to the coach and the GM, and then you kind of have two people on different pages. It just doesn't work in most cases across the league. So I think if you get rid of one, you probably got to get rid of both. And I don't know. Right now it's probably looking like, as the results continue to go the way they are, looking like to
It's not fair to Jackson Dart to keep Brian Daboll, and he would vouch for Brian Daboll because he loves that man. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I respect the hell out of that. But it is not fair to the development of Jackson Dart to keep Joe Shane employed. Look at the talent around him, and I get it. You lost your star receiver. You lost a fourth-round running back. Look, I think Cam Skattebo is one of the best running backs in the NFL. If your offense is dependent on a rookie fourth-round pick running back in year 4, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's what the Giants have been under Joe Shane. We rely on one person on offense. First, it was Saquon Barkley. Then it was Malik Neighbors. Now it's Cam Skattebo. How about at some point we have a team of playmakers instead of giving Darius Slayton $36 million, who has a $16 million cap hit next year. And if you want to cut him, you know how much money you save? $25,000. You don't save any money. I don't trust Joe Shane's eye for talent. Why should I? Why should I trust his eye for talent? All the people he's let out, people that he's brought in, his best move as the GM is drafting Jackson Dart. His second best move as the GM is trading for Brian Burns. Give me the third best move, because I don't know what it is. Yeah. Someone help me know what that is. Extensions don't count.
A lot of the other best players on the Giants were already there when Joe Shane got there. So,
task of the day for everyone watching. Third best move of the Joe Shane era. You don't get credit for picking Malik Neighbors. My little sister knew Malik Neighbors was the pick at pick 6. You don't get credit for Abdul Carter. Anyone with a pulse knew Abdul Carter was the 3rd overall pick. So tell me what the third best move was. Jackson Dart 1, Brian Burns 2. Let me know after that. And I see someone in the chat saying draft Cam Skattebo. That's a problem if that's your third best move as a GM in year fucking 4. That's a problem. That's a problem. Micah McFadden in the 5th round, if that's your third best move as a GM, that's a problem. That's why you're 5-20 in your last 25 football games.
All right, we did have a few super chats come in, so we will try and catch up on those, and we will get every single super chat on screen. So if we miss it for a second or we pass over it, don't worry. We're going to get through all of them. This one comes in from Horatio. He says, the Giants need a clean house and beg Bill Belichick to come in. What Shane Bowen is doing with defense, or rather failing to do, is absolutely criminal. Give Belichick this defense and a QB-savvy OC, and we get our dynasty.
Appreciate you, my man. $50 super chat. That's amazing. Thank you for supporting this channel. That goes a long way here, man. No one has to support like that, and the fact you guys do, it blows me away every single time I go live on this channel. When it comes to Bill Belichick, he's one of the best coaches ever. He's one of the best football minds ever. I don't think he has the same mind that he once did. He's dating a 23-year-old, however old she is. And look, I don't have any problems with that. But I think it's safe to say that the reason Bill Belichick was great is because all he had was football. All he thought about was football. All he did was football. He's not the same guy anymore. He's not. The ship has sailed. I know he loves the Giants. I know the Giants love Bill Belichick. I am not in the camp of wanting to hire Bill Belichick at this point. I would have been okay with it last year, and people were going to hate me for that. I would have been cool with that prior to the debacle that's going down at North Carolina right now. I could have been convinced that Bill Belichick would have been the right move last year. I think there's reasons for that. We need young blood. And I'm not saying a young coach. We need someone that doesn't have 50 years of NFL experience, that has one foot out the door, another foot in. And is Bill Belichick committed to football? You have to be a football sicko at this point. I think Belichick was that, and that's why he's one of the best ever. I don't think he is that guy anymore.
Yeah, I think it's clear he's lost a step. I mean, listen, we don't know what the situation is at North Carolina and all that's going on down there, but if he was still at the top of his game, I think they'd probably be having a better season than they were having, despite what kind of ever talent deficit they may be facing in when they go into any given game. I think they haven't looked great. I think they played a tight game this past weekend, but I don't know. Do I think Bill Belichick is the answer to our prayers at this point? No. Maybe 5 years ago, maybe the last time the Giants needed a coach, he would have been a better hire.
Do I think he could be one of the best defensive coordinators in the
that's what I
NFL?
was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do I want him making draft picks? No. Do I want him having a say-so on personnel? No. Do I want him hiring a staff? No. This man had Joe Judge and Matt Patricia as offensive coordinators, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Process that. And even in 2023, Bill Belichick's last year with the New England Patriots, he's supposed to be a defensive guy. They allowed 21.5 points per game, 15th best in the NFL. So, look, I'd kill for the 15th best defense right now. We'd actually probably win some football games. I don't think the Bill Belichick thing is going to happen. Should it happen? And I don't really want it to happen at this point. Shane Bowen can go. I just want the 31st best defensive coordinator. We have the 32nd. I'm not asking for a lot. I agree. Belichick in his prime with this defense would be elite. I don't know if that guy still exists. I don't.
So shout out to you, Horatio. We appreciate the support.
Thank you for the $50 super chat, my man. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. Over 700 people in the building. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon for me. Would really, really appreciate it. My man Rob Rodriguez, $100 super chat. Give me some double R's in the chat. What up, buddy? He says, what do you... Thank you, first and foremost. I don't know if I said that. You're the GOAT. I love you, bro. Hopefully everybody's doing all right. It says, what do you think if we brought Alec Hallaby, the assistant GM for the Eagles, to replace Joe Shane, and try bringing John Gruden as head coach and Rex Ryan as the defensive coordinator? Look, I'm not going to sit up here and speak out of my ass. I don't know much about Alec. I don't know how you say his last name, Hallaby. I haven't had the heart to start GM candidate videos. I haven't had the mental fortitude to say, you know what, we're having to do this again. And I can already, Marshall, but if you want to fire somebody, you know, no, you don't. No, you don't. When you get a divorce with your wife, do you already know who your next wife's going to be? No. When you're in a shitty situation, you get out of this shitty situation. I wouldn't mind hiring someone from the Philadelphia Eagles front office. They know how to manipulate the salary cap. They know how to draft. They're always aggressive via trades, and they hire good head coaches. So I would be okay with that, but I would need to do more research before I put my stamp of approval on him. When it comes to John Gruden and Rex Ryan, I'm looking more so, I love John Gruden. I would love to spend a day with John Gruden and talk football. He is my favorite content creator to watch, if you even want to call him that. John Gruden hasn't been a head coach in a couple of years. John Gruden wasn't very good with the Raiders. John Gruden made some really dumb draft picks and moves with the Las Vegas Raiders. I think John Gruden should go try to be the head coach of LSU. I think he should try to go be the coach of Florida. I think he should try to go be the coach of Arkansas. I don't want John Gruden as the head coach of the New York Giants.
Yeah.
And I know he loves Jackson Dart. You know what? There's about 5,000 people walking this earth that would love to be the head coach of the New York Giants and work with Jackson Dart. He's not the only one.
Yeah, so I think if they do end up cleaning house, I think they'll be I don't know. I think, like, with some of these guys who have been a coach before, they're maybe available for a reason, and that doesn't mean that they couldn't be the right fit. I don't know if it means we should probably try and get the next guy who hasn't been a head coach before, maybe someone who's an offensive coordinator this year. I'm just thinking as like you said, I haven't thought about who's going to be the next head coach and the next GM of the Giants. We're focused on this season right now.
It was week 8.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do I trust the Giants to identify that guy? Whoever the next guy could potentially be? I don't know.
No. I would like to see John Mara hire someone to be the president of football operations. I don't know who that is. But there's someone out there that I trust to identify the next general manager and head coach of the New York Giants more than John Mara and the people that are employed by John Mara right now. I think that should be the next hire. And they better not frickin' work for the Giants right now. You better not have any of the same DNA that John Mara has. I don't want anyone that is involved with the New York Giants to be the head of football operations. Go hire somebody that's been there and done that. Someone that knows what it takes to be a good head coach. Not somebody that's your nephew. Not somebody that's your uncle's brother's sister. Someone that has no relationship to the New York Giants. Hire them as the president of football operation. They hire the GM. They then work with the GM to find the head coach. Then they work with the head coach to find an offensive coordinator, to find a defensive coordinator. I'm tired of, I'm blanking on the word, but if you're a Giant and you work for the Giants and you're family, you're always family. Like, I'm sick of that. He shouldn't. God, I pray for John Mara. I do. He's not in a spot right now where he needs to deal with this.
Yeah.
We all know what's going on. Hire someone. You just sold 10% to one of the richest families in the world. They can pay for whoever that is.
Yeah, and like John Mara, no one is almost more respected or should have a network around football like John Mara. He should be able to identify someone to come in and help him with this. He's one of the most well-known owners across the league. He should have a network of people that know who all the rising stars are and all the different front offices. And if you're a guy who's not currently like presiding over team control with a certain organization, would you not want to come and have control of the New York Giants? I think that would be a pretty enticing proposition for anyone who's currently not in control of a team.
For Rex Ryan, Bobby, I'm not all that interested in Rex Ryan as the defensive coordinator for the Giants. In his day, he was a hell of a defensive coordinator. As a head coach, he had that defense humming for the New York Jets. These are splashy. These are sexy. These are things that would get people excited. I'm looking for hunger. I want people that want to go out and do it. And I would like someone that's been there and done that as well. I don't know if that's John Gruden and Rex Ryan for me at this time. I can firmly say I don't want Rex Ryan as the defensive coordinator. Go give me the Georgia defensive coordinator. Go give me someone that's a sicko about football. Eats, breathes, sleeps football with something to prove. I'm probably good. Rex Ryan is DC. I would talk myself into John Gruden being the head coach because I love John Gruden. I love how much he loves football. I love that he loves Jackson Dart. Let's shoot a little bit higher.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I don't know. If this is what ends up happening and Shane and Daboll are fired, I'm fascinated to see what's going to happen, who the candidates, who's going to emerge, and kind of like you said, the process, who's making the decision, who's going into it, who has a voice, and I don't know. I think it'll be interesting if it does end up happening, because right now I think no one has any idea what they're going to go. Right now, the only names people are throwing out are those proven names because I don't think we know. So the season's still a lot of season to go. Who may be that hot name that hasn't come out yet? So,
agreed. I know a lot of people are in the chat asking about what the great news was. Cam Skattebo has been discharged from the hospital. Let's go to his tweet real quick, AC, if you can. Cam Skattebo had to have emergency surgery last night because his broken bone in his lower leg, ankle, it pierced through his skin. It was a very scary surgery, and he is being discharged from the hospital today, and he is expected to start his rehab right away. Tweeting out, "Thank you everyone for the support. Surgery went well. I just want to thank the city of Philly for taking the best care of me. Every moment I spent in the hospital with family and friends, I felt loved and supported in every way. Thank you to the doctors, surgeons, and staff that did their best work on me. This is just the beginning of my journey, and I can't wait to show you guys all about it. God has a plan for me. Stick to the course, and it will all work itself out." An extremely scary injury. This is one that we've all seen the photos of Alex Smith's leg. There was a serious concern that once the bone poked through the skin, that infection could then follow. That's why they had to have a surgery last night. Sounds like it went well. Sounds like a full recovery is possible, and he is now on that road to recovery. So That is the story of the day for the New York Giants.
All right, so Rob, we appreciate your super chat.
Rich Rod, Double R, you're a GOAT, brother. We love you, man. We love you. Nepotism, thank you. I couldn't think of the frickin' word.
Shout out to Phil coming in with a $2 super chat. He says they treated the first down line like it was the goal line.
My man Rich Rob in the building as well. What up, gang? So exactly what they did, Phil. Exactly what they did. One of the best ways I've heard it be put today. You go back to the tush push from yesterday. They acted like once he crossed the first down, it was a touchdown. The play was over. Spot on, hitting the nail on the head with that one. But you know what would have happened? If the play and the pile kept surging forward,
they would have given him the yards.
They would have given him the yards.
Yeah.
Because, again, we all heard it. The game audio caught it when the first whistle was blown. The first whistle was not blown until the ball was out and the Giants had recovered, meaning they were letting the play go. So they could say forward progress stopped, but his forward progress actually never stopped. So therefore, it can't be forward progress. Can't be forward progress if you're reaching the ball out. They botched the call. They screwed the Giants. Did the Giants win if they get that fumble? I don't know. But I would have taken my chances tied 7-7 with the New York Giants ball going that way instead of after that play, you allow a Saquon Barkley wheel route for a touchdown. So that's where I'm at on that. Yeah, Phil, you said it perfectly, brother. Said it perfectly. My man Sean Hayes, what up, brother? Man, there's one thing that happens every year. Worse than injuries. Horrible, inexcusable calls. Why does Mara get screwed more than any other owner? This team, it suffers more injuries to their offensive young stars than any team in the National Football League. We did a video this morning where we went through all of it. Jeremy Shockey, broken leg in 2007. Plaxico Burress shoots himself. David Wilson has to retire after 2 years. Torn patella tendon for Victor Cruz. Broken ankle for Odell Beckham Jr. Torn ACL for Saquon Barkley. Torn ACL for Malik Neighbors. Fractured, dislocated ankle for Cam Skattebo. Andrew Thomas, the injuries that he has had. Sterling Shepard, all the injuries that he has had. I don't know any other team that has their young stars be hurt on the offensive side of the ball to season-ending and career-changing injuries. I don't know any other team. And when it comes to the calls, the refs suck. They suck every game. But, yeah, yesterday was a lousy performance from the Zebras, and all those guys should be suspended a game at minimum, and their paychecks should be forfeited. There was a shot on game where the ref is pointing and laughing and saying first down Eagles.
It's tough.
Wide receiver Steve Smith as well. Great one there. Hakeem Nicks and all the foot injuries that he had that derailed his career. JPP blew his fingers off, to take it to the defensive side of the ball. I don't know any other team that deals with shit like that. And I'm a freaking Knicks fan. Branley, what up, my man? Thank you for the super chat. Says, just tuning in. What did I miss besides Fire Joe? Cam Skattebo, discharged from the hospital. Sounds like he's going to make a full recovery. I don't want to say there's no infection because we haven't heard anything, but I feel like that may have been reported. It sounded like surgery went well. The emergency surgery that took place last night.
Yeah, they didn't indicate that he would need any sort of additional operations or anything, so I think that's a good thing. The message coming out of it was good news, meaning hopefully he's now on the road to recovery and not still in that medical process of fixing. So hopefully Scataboo will be back as soon as possible.
Agreed. I'm going to miss watching him play football the rest of the year. I don't necessarily believe that I actually do believe that, though. I think he brought confidence, swag, a will to win, and a new energy to this football team that they had been lacking. I said that in the post-game video yesterday, and someone said, no, Marshall, he didn't do that. He brought balls to this football team. He did. They played like a real football team under Cam Skattebo.
You can't, watch him run over guys, throw guys off of him, and, just punish guys without getting a little fired up. We get fired up sitting here watching it. I'm sure you guys all get fired up watching at home, wherever you're watching it. If you're suited up in uniform, that's got to fire you up when he just runs angry. So
if you don't have a pulse.
Yeah, hopefully he can get back to doing that as soon as possible because we need it.
DeMuffin Man, Appreciate the super chat, bro. So, what can we realistically do immediate to help Dart win some games the rest of the season? I love what he said yesterday after the game. I can already see people typing in the comments, but Marshall, we're not making a playoff push. Go trade for a frickin' receiver. Go get the kid some help. Your offensive supporting cast right now is Tyrone Tracy, Cam Skattebo, Theo, I dropped it again, Johnson, Daniel Bellinger, Darius, I'm stealing money from the Giants, Slayton, Wandale Robinson, Jalen, I'm one of the biggest busts ever, Hyatt, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and Bo frickin' Collins. Those are your 9 playmakers around Jackson Dart. Hot take, it's the worst supporting cast in the NFL. And you're asking your rookie quarterback to progress, to develop, to end the season with an ability to be better and build confidence. I don't care if you have to trade a second-round pick. I don't care if you have to trade a fourth-round pick. I don't care if you have to trade a future third-round pick. Get the kid some help. He is in the middle of the ocean, keeping himself afloat. Throw him a raft. Throw him a raft. Throw him a guy that can get open. How about, hot take, throw him a guy that can catch the football.
I think there's all those plays we see yesterday. He's great at extending the play. There was a couple times I remember watching him. He's running around. He's gotten out of the way. He's ducked through 3 Eagles defenders. He's looking downfield, and nobody's open. And it's now 10 seconds, 8 to 10 seconds, and still nobody has managed to get open.
You have 9 games left. You cannot trot that unit out for 9 games. If you are, let's just not even play him. Let's just not even play him. Put Jameis out there. Let him run the season. Let's tank. Let's get the number 1 pick and do that. Because if you're not going to put people around him, that tells me you're not serious. Because you can't be serious trotting out those 9 players. You can't. It's not about winning games, Andrew Connell. It's not about making a playoff push. It's about not screwing this kid up.
Yeah, and
I have no faith in the brain
trust.
He's
doing
right
a good
now.
job of swimming upstream right now, and everything's coming against him and just flowing downstream against him. But it would sure help if they could just push him in the right direction instead of pushing him down and in the wrong direction. So
they're attaching weights to his ankles, and he's trying to stay afloat in the ocean.
Not great. So on that, if they do get fired because they're not doing their jobs, BK Vine comes in with a $5 super chat, says who would be the best replacements for this regime, and we kind of just touched on that a lot with some of the previous things, but I think the general takeaway is we don't know yet. We're not really thinking about that yet.
Yeah. Look, I wish I could give you an answer. One, I don't know who the available head coaches are. What if the Steelers go out and do something stupid and fire Mike Tomlin? He's number 1 on my list. What if the Baltimore Ravens do something stupid and fire John Harbaugh? Or Jim Harbaugh?
John is on the Ravens. John
Harbaugh. I always get that mixed up. I don't know who the head coach is right now. I don't know who the head coach of the future should be. I don't know who the GM of the future should be. But I know the guy that we have in the building right now is not worthy of being the GM of the future. And that's step one. And I'll say this. If the Steelers are on the brink of firing Mike Tomlin, I would trade for him. I would trade for Mike Tomlin. I don't know what you give up. I don't know what the compensation is. Didn't we see Sean Payton get traded from the Saints to the Broncos?
Yeah, I think he was already retired.
Sean Payton trade refers to the January 2023 trade where the Broncos acquired New Orleans Saints. The Broncos sent the Saints their first-round pick, number 29, and a 2024 second-round pick, and the Saints' 2024 third-round pick. Look, it's a lot. I wouldn't give up our first-round pick. That's going to be a top 10 pick. But if you told me that I can go out and I get Mike Tomlin, yeah, I'm going to go out and do that. That's a winner. Do they win a lot of playoffs games recently? No, it's hard to win one with Kenny Pickett, your quarterback. How about you get him a quarterback? Oh, we have one.
Yeah, I mean, people make fun of it as kind of a useless stat, but they literally haven't had a losing season in, 17 years?
Jay Fed is laughing at the idea of trading for a coach. How do you think the Broncos are feeling right now that they traded for Sean Payton?
Yeah, they look pretty good. They beat us, that's for sure. So, I don't know. I think, a coach like that who can get the most out of the players that are on the roster, I don't know about Brian Daboll's done that. Brian Daboll's getting the most out of Jackson Dart, but before Dart, Giants weren't getting the most out of the guys they had on the roster.
Would you trade Wan'Dale Robinson for him? That's second-round pick. Like, you can disagree or not, but let's think, like, GM, head coach, quarterback. The three most important things on a football team. You got to have all three. Sometimes one can make up for the other, but it's a head coach, quarterback, GM league. Yeah, if I could trade for a Hall of Fame coach in Mike Tomlin, yeah, I'd do it. If I could trade for John Harbaugh, yeah, I would do it. So it's my opinion. I don't need to spend any more time up here trying to convince you. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. That's just how I feel. I would do it. So to answer your question, BK Vinny, I don't know who the guys are yet. I will dig my teeth into it. Unfortunately, I think I got to do it sooner rather than later. But I'll give you guys my official opinions when I feel confident enough to share them.
All right. Shout out to Rob Ziga coming in with a $10 super chat. It says, Marshy Rock. Hello, Connell. What's up, Rob? The chat is awesome. If Joe is fired, who do you want as GM? Legit question. Please don't say Louis Riddick. Random thought. Would you consider Rex Ryan as DC next season?
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. No, I would never hire Louis Riddick to be the GM of the New York Football Giants. If he was so good, he would have been hired somewhere else. And when it comes to Rex Ryan, no, I have no interest in him being the defensive coordinator. Yeah, I don't know who I want as GM yet. I got to figure that out. I'll tell you, it's nobody inside the Giants building. That's for sure. It's someone new. And no disrespect to Brandon Brown, but he's been a part of this organization that's made some pretty dumb picks. And I'm sure Joe Shane has final say-so. I don't think you watch Hard Knocks, Brandon Brown didn't want Saquon Barkley to go. External. Someone that doesn't have the Giants' loser funk attached to him right now. That's what I'm looking at.
Positive Prenders coming in. Says, bring me Gruden and whatever GM, Gruden, Scat, and Dart would be legit fun to watch. We'd be the Blue Bruisers. Hashtag go Big Blue. Hashtag love the show.
Appreciate you, my man. Shout out to you, PP. Look, said it a couple of times. I love John Gruden. I love how much he loves football. I love that he loves Jackson Dart. I don't know if I want John Gruden running my football team. I'd love to listen to John Gruden talk football. I'd love for John Gruden. I love to watch John Gruden press conferences. Yeah, so no, I'm not cool with. John Gruden is not at the top of my list at this point. He's not. Appreciate the love, brother. Appreciate you, bro.
Ray coming in with $10 says, realistically, I believe that 22 playoff season has done way more harm for this team than anything. JS, meaning Joe Shane, has kept that blueprint of one lucky winning season and continues to make us a laughing stock.
I go back to that year, and thank you, Ray. The New York Giants didn't have cap space that offseason. Dave Gettleman had dug them into that hole. I think the best thing, you know what the third best move Joe Shane has done is clean up the salary cap. Mm-hmm. That's his third best move. First is Jackson Dart. Second is the Brian Burns trade. Third is the Giants' salary cap books are relatively clean. That's not enough reason to keep you as the GM, though. When it comes to the 2022 season, what the Giants did that year was they found ways to add talent without spending money. Nick McLeod on the waiver wire, awesome addition. Jason Pinnock on the waiver wire, awesome addition. Isaiah Hodgins on the waiver wire, awesome addition. They're not even doing that stuff any longer. Like, Bo Braid, Rico Payton, you had the third pick in the waiver wire and you didn't make any moves. Were there moves to make? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look if those were the moves, if players that were picked up made a difference. But it's hard to come up with a lot of reasons to say that Joe Shane should keep his job. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the angle I agree with this ad is that, like, it's bought Joe Shane more and more years because he used the excuse of, after that we were kind of more of a win now team, so I didn't really start my rebuild until like 2 seasons after that because I would have never made the Darren Waller trade if we weren't a win now team and things like that.
Nice trade for Darren Waller.
Yeah. So I think that's really where, in terms of the harm it's done, is it kind of just, instead of them doing this the long way and the right way, they kind of tried to fast track their rebuild, and it just set them back even further. Not going to say it wasn't fun to watch that season. It was, especially because it's been sandwiched in between 5 losing seasons on either side. But yeah, the fact that it's not sustainable and they weren't able to build on it definitely sucks.
Ray, we appreciate you, man. What up, Jerry? What's up, my man? Appreciate the love. Thank you for the super chats. I'm sorry, but Dart can't put up 50 points, but if our defense can't stop anyone, what's the use? There's not really any quarterbacks that can put up 50 points consistently.
He said he can put up 50.
Oh, can.
Yeah, but if
Gotcha.
our defense can't stop anyone, then what's the point?
100%.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, they put up 33. They put up 32 and against the best defense in the league and lost. So
yeah. Every single free agency dollar was spent on the defense. Chauncey Golston, he's played like 50 snaps this year. Paulson Adebo, you needed a corner. You absolutely did. Did you need to pay Paulson Adebo that money? There were other corners that were out there that were good. Charvarius Ward's playing like an all-pro. That's who I wanted. I know he has the concussion because his teammate ran into him in the pregame warm-ups. That doesn't worry about that. Javon Holland. I talked myself into the Javon Holland move. There's also a video on the channel that says I'll crash out if the Giants sign Javon Holland. You don't let homegrown leaders like Xavier McKinney at safety go.
Julian Love.
To just go use his money on another player that another team is happy to leave. I can tell you guys this. The Dolphins were happy that Javon Holland left. People in the building didn't like Javon Holland for the Miami Dolphins. And then the move you did make on offense, it was Darius Slayton. Darius drops Slayton. I don't have any faith in Joe Shane. And if he does build a Super Bowl contender, I'll tell you I'm wrong. I'll praise the man. I'll say I'm an idiot. I'll write I'm an idiot on my forehead. I have no blind faith for Joe Shane, and that's what you have to have. Blind faith. Because there's nothing of substance outside of listening to Brian Daboll to draft Jackson Dart and trading for Brian Burns and cleaning the salary cap books. Sorry, you don't get credit for hitting on a six overall pick to Malik Neighbors. You don't get credit for the Abdul Carter pick when you're picking number 3. It's the way the NFL works. You do get credit for the miss on Evan Neal. It doesn't matter if I liked Evan Neal. It doesn't matter if Andrew Connell liked Evan Neal. It's not our job to get the pick right. We also don't get to sit down and interview these players. We don't have the abundant access to the information that the other teams have.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Can't miss on a number 7 overall pick, no matter what position it is, who it is, and yeah, I think everyone.
That's how you get fired.
In the NFL world was saying Evan Neal was a top pick, but hopefully
he's the one that made it.
Yeah, hopefully you're making your own decisions and not going off what the mock drafts say and all of that. So we'll see. Yeah.
Wonder Boy, my man, I appreciate you, bro. What if Daboll goes to GM? Daboll hires new head coach? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Brian Daboll's never been in a front office. It would be pretty outlandish for them to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, maybe he should be. He picked Jackson. He knew Jackson Dart was the guy.
Yeah. But, I just look. I like Brian Daboll more as a guy and a dude and a football guy more than a head coach. But I just I don't know about that one. Appreciate you for the support and thank you for super chatting the channel and watching the show. Shout out to y'all. 700 people watching still, 420 likes. That's cool. Hit that thumbs up icon for me if you can. Brantley says, third best move, letting our kicker go. Well, he didn't let the kicker go.
Yeah, they let Jude go. I don't know if that's what you're referencing, but then they brought him back, so they even didn't let him go. But yeah, Graham Gano, still employed by the team. I think made all his kicks yesterday and remained in one piece throughout the game. So credit to him for that, for being able to kick for a full game. Doesn't even do the kickoffs anymore. I think Gillen does the kickoffs now, so we strictly place kicks. But yeah, not sure what the longest field goal he's hit this season, but I see other kickers hit 60-plus yarders.
Yeah, the guy the Giants worked out with Younghoe Koo, he made a 61-yarder.
Lucas Haversick.
Unreal, man. Unreal. Our Lester Carney. Appreciate you for the super chat, bro. Thank you for being here. It's a lot of hats. No cap. Appreciate you, bro. Lucas Levinson. What up, my man? Thank you for the super chat, bro. Diehard Giants fan here in Australia. This channel keeps me going every day through rough times. All love, Marshall. Pray for 1 and 44. Clean house. Let's effing go, Big Blue. Lucas, you're a real one, bro. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the super chat. Let's go Giants, bro. Giants now. Worldwide. You the man, bro. Malio. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize. Says, how about Antonio Pierce as head coach, DC? SB
Shane Bowen.
Shane Bowen. Cali player. I'll just say this. I have no interest in Antonio Pierce being on the New York Giants.
Super Bowl caliber player, maybe?
Oh, he was a hell of a player. You don't win that Super Bowl without Antonio Pierce. We have a Raiders channel here at Chat Sports that's very large, and I've heard a lot about Antonio Pierce, things that aren't public, and I have no interest in him being the head coach. I will just leave it at that. Leave it at that. Disco Dan. What up, bro? Hypothetical for the 2026 season, Marshall Green is announced as Giants GM. What are your immediate changes and what are your long-term 3 to 4 year plans?
Wow, congrats.
Hey, that'd be sick. Does it come with a pay raise? Hopefully so. Look, after every single season, I do a perfect off-season video. So at this point, my number one focus would be getting the right head coach. I don't know who that is right now, so it's hard for me to give you that video and give you what I believe. But Disco Dan, I'll do this for you. I'll stash that in the back of my head, and if we get to 2-8, 2-9, 2-10, we might just put the perfect offseason video out before the end of the season this year. But I'm firing Joe Shane because I'm taking his job. I'm probably moving on from every single coach on the staff outside of Andre Patterson and maybe the special teams coordinator. And I am pouring my resources and cap money into the offense to support a young quarterback. That's what I'm doing. Because even when you do build on the defense, Joe, the defense still sucks.
Yeah, I think like the key would probably be you want to maximize Jackson Dart's rookie extension because the way quarterback contracts are going in about 3 or 4 years, if he continues to play like this, he's going to be making a hell of a lot of money. That's going to handicap you in other ways. And I agree with the offense thing, but the Giants could also use about 5 more corners as well. So
you're not winning a Super Bowl next year.
Yeah,
unless Jackson Dart becomes the best quarterback ever. So I'm going to make sure that he has success, talent, and support around him. I don't know how many videos I said in the offseason. I am maximizing the offense this offseason. That was last offseason because I knew they were drafting a rookie quarterback. And he did the opposite. He brought back 10 of the 11 starters that averaged the 31st most points in the league last year. So there's that. My man Sahagan's detailing, bring on Turbo Miller. They might be bringing up Turbo Miller. They might. Straightforward. No one's blocking your comments, bro. You're not that important, I promise. Yeah, Turbo Miller might get elevated from the practice squad, some game day elevations. That could potentially happen. Sebastian, what's up, man? NFL going to thank us for ending that dumb play. They should. Should give us a couple of wins, too. Give us a couple of wins for it, too, while you're at it. I do think that the tush push will be outlawed after this season. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Major Level Entertainment. Yo, Marsh, this is the best Giants channel on the whole damn tube. Been following you for years now. It's the NYG for life, bro. Keep up the fire content.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for the kind words, bro. I appreciate that, my man. I'm just doing the best I can. I'm a Giants, diehard Giants fan, just like y'all. I bleed Giants blue. We're all pissed off. We're all upset. I just voiced my opinion. That's it. And I'm thankful to levels that you guys don't even know that there are hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people every month that tune into this channel. So thank you. We appreciate it. Seriously.
Sports coming in with trade Russ for RB or a wide receiver.
Clickbait! Remember when I did the video, the Giants should trade Russell Wilson to the Bengals after week 2, and every comment said, clickbait! He's our quarterback! LOL.
John Maris sees that you may end up as a Giants GM next year.
Look, if you can get anything for Russell Wilson, do it. Do it. Sean Hayes, hot take. Mara will F it up. It's really hot. Really hot. Lord. Yeah. Unfortunate. Rob Jigga, Mike Mayock, who ruined the Raiders, not Gruden. John Gruden had just as much, if not more, input on the draft than Mike Mayock. I can tell you that, and I know that for a fact. Rebel Montana, what up, Beast? I hate this team. I was born into this team, and I'm always a Giants fan, but I hate this team. I hate losing. I hate being a loser. I hate being embarrassed. And the Giants have done a lot of both of those things in my lifetime. Far too much.
I think the frustrating thing is the Giants kind of used to be a pretty well-run organization and respected, I think, in the National Football League. They didn't bottom out too much. They were always competitive. They ended up making those Super Bowl runs, and the last 10 years has just been kind of the opposite of what they were and what they were known for, and now they've kind of seen as a little bit of a dumpster fire and a laughing stock when they used to be kind of one of the model and flagship organizations in the league. So that shift is it's frustrating.
Rich Rob, I would love to trade for Brian Thomas Jr. Reports came out today that they have no interest in trading him. Maybe that's hey, up your offer if you want him. But they'd be pretty brain dead to trade him at this point. I know he's having a struggling season. Came back into the offseason to this year with 2 right hands. Can't catch the football. If I can get BTJ for a second-round pick, I'm doing it. But the Jags would have to be dumber than the Giants to trade Brian Thomas Jr. So I would love to do it. If you get Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Cam Skattebo, Jackson Dart, yeah, that's a pretty damn good young offense. I don't think the Jags are actually trading Brian Thomas Jr. And if they do trade Brian Thomas Jr. and the Giants don't trade for him, I'm going to crash out.
Pat coming in for $5 says, fire Joe, give a shot to Brandon. He comes from a good system. Keep head coach, get a defensive coordinator, give it 1 more year so we don't F up our QB another cycle, and we're the Browns.
I just don't see a world where you fire the GM, keep the head coach, and force Brian Daboll onto the new GM. The new GM's going to want his own coach, right? Maybe if it is Brandon Brown that's upgraded, you can sell me on that. And I don't even want Brandon Brown as the assistant general manager to be the GM. I think it's just time to kind of grab that broom and sweep it up. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Michael coming in with $20. Appreciate your support. He says, Daboll's taking too much heat. His hands have been tied since he got here. Bowen has to go, sure. Devastating injuries haven't helped Daboll at all either, but his pick of and relationship with Dart buys him 1 more year.
Look, I'm not going to fault anyone that feels that way. There's a part of my heart and a part of my brain that says Brian Daboll can figure this out. I need to start seeing it, though. There's a lot more to being a head coach, Andrew Connell, than just coaching the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. If that,
And that's huge.
You need the whole team. And, I think I said this I think it was after the Broncos game. Brian Daboll, I think, we said, knows a lot of football. And I think he probably, we don't know this, spends most of his time working with Jackson Dart, Mike Kafka, the offense, and the quarterbacks because that's what he's good at. That's what he loves to do. I think the Giants' defense needs some help, and Brian Daboll has worked on the defensive side of the ball before he worked on the offensive side of the ball. He needs to spend more time over there and watch what's going on because we've seen some of the game plans, some of the questionable decision-making, and your responsibility as a head coach is the whole team. The defense can't mess up, and you're like, oh, defensive coordinator, what are you doing? Like, as a head coach, you have to own everything, and if one side of the ball is not matching the other side of the ball, too bad. Like, Mike Kafka will figure out the offense. They're doing well right now. Help out the defense. Spend some more time there because it's going to cost you your job right now. So,
I love the relationship, Michael, between Brian Daboll and Jackson Dart. I want those two guys to be the guys because I like Brian Daboll. I question if he's an elite football coach. I love that my quarterback and my head coach would die for each other. I absolutely love that. He hasn't been able to put together a good staff. He's played tug of war with the play calling of offensive coordinator. He's already fired an offensive line coach. He's on his second special teams coach, his second DB coach, who, let's call it what it is. All the Giants DBs outside of Cordell Flott are worse this year than they were last year. Tyler Nubin has regressed. Drew Phillips was even more of a boomer bust player. Deontay Banks is unplayable. There's a lot more than just coaching the quarterback and identifying the quarterback and loving your quarterback. And I love the shit out of those two guys. And I love the way that they work together. I love that they have each other's back till the end. But my question becomes, is Brian Daboll best for Jackson Dart, or is Jackson Dart best for Brian Daboll? And maybe that's some big brain Marsh standing up here and talking for 2 hours. Brian Daboll needs Jackson Dart a lot more than Jackson Dart needs Brian Daboll. That's just kind of where I'm at. We appreciate you, Michael. Thank you for the $20 super chat.
Yeah, appreciate your support. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in and watched,
Bowen's got to go,
subscribed. We appreciate it. So, and kind of tying into that, Ryan comes in with 10, says, do you think if our DC was actually good, we'd be playoff contenders?
Well, if your DC was good, you would have 4 wins because you would have been able to close out the Cowboys game, and you would have been able to close out the Broncos game. So instead of 2-6, you'd be 4-4. Yeah. You would be playoff contenders.
You would be in the hunt. Yeah.
You would be in the hunt. Yeah. Brutal.
Corey Hurd, my man, coming in with $20, says, shout out from JC and I. Who has the biggest fan base on Chat Sports?
Corey Hurd, you are a legend, brother. When you say fan base, I'm going to digest that as which channel has the most subscribers. The Cowboys Report has the most subscribers here at Chat Sports, 232. It was the first channel that Chat Sports had. The second would be the Las Vegas Raiders at 207,000. I think that was the second channel they ever did, team channel. Third would be the San Francisco 49ers Report, 178,000. The Eagles channel is at 134. Bears at 136. Steelers is at 101, and then your New York Giants are right there. Of all those channels you named, proud to say, Giants is the newest of all of them and has the least videos of all of those channels. So, pretty damn cool. When I started here at Chat Sports, when I was employee number 5 in January of 2021, we didn't have a Giants channel. We already had a Niners channel. We already had an Eagles. Already had a Cowboys. Already had
Bears.
So, it's because of y'all. It's because of y'all, man. Like, I get to go to work as a full-time job, put a roof over my head, and support myself because of the way that y'all support me. So it's pretty damn sweet. Corey Hurd, you're a legend, bro. I'll see you at the Mavs game, buddy. Beer's on me. Let's go. Michael Pinto, my man. Any interest in Asante Samuel Jr. when he gets cleared? I know he has a tackling problem, but surely he's better than Banks. With the cornerback room outrageously thin, maybe it's worth a cheap prove-it deal. Yeah, you want to bring him on a cheap prove-it deal? I'm in. You don't got to sell me on that. We had Corey Black out there. You don't got to sell me on that. You don't.
Ugh. All right, shout out to you, Michael. Appreciate the support.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate you, man.
Drips. Shout out to you. Coming in with $5. Says Marsh will stand on that Rush trade video until he dies.
Clickbait!
Also, do you think actually the Giants will trade for a wide receiver, or are they bluffing?
When I get bored, I go and read the comments and I laugh because it is hilarious that they literally benched him 1 week later. So, do I think Giants will trade for a receiver? I don't know. I wholeheartedly believe they should. It would only go to add more pages to the book of Joe Shane's ineptness as a GM if he plays 9 more games with Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, Theo Johnson, Daniel Bellinger, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Bo Collins, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and Jalen Hyatt as the 9 playmakers around your rookie quarterback. That is inexcusable. So, yeah, he probably won't trade for one. Probably won't.
Knowing how he thinks, I feel like they were potentially, and once they've lost these last few games, instead of maybe we need to make our team better to win, it's we're not contending this year. Don't want to.
We can't trade those great draft picks we have.
Yeah. Well,
That
they don't have a third, so they which listen, that went to Jackson Dart, so no mistakes there. But yeah, I don't think, knowing how he thinks, I don't know if they're going to trade for one. Lawrence, shout out to you, $5 super chat. Cowboys fan here. Boo, sorry. No, appreciate the support. With a trade question for the Giants fans. What would you guys want in a trade for Kayvon Thibodeaux? Would a first and Jalen Tolbert do it?
Yes.
Yeah, and now the Cowboys have all those extra firsts from that Micah Parsons.
I want your first, though.
Yeah.
I don't want the Packers first. Yeah, if I can get a top 10 pick in the NFL draft for Kayvon Thibodeaux, I would absolutely do it. I'd absolutely do it. I think Kayvon Thibodeaux has been good this year. I'm still a little weary of giving him $100 million. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, and with the allocation of the resources they already have.
It's not like that unit dominates games.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that they can't do it alone, so maybe you need to spend some of that money on a good corner instead. Shout out to you, Lawrence. We appreciate your support. Thanks for tuning into Giants Now.
No. Marshall hates Kayvon Thibodeaux. No, I would trade I would trade a lot of people on this team for a top 10 pick.
Yeah, even like the other day, what was it? Mitch, the host of our Raiders channel, said, "Are you guys, Marsh, would you guys trade Kayvon Thibodeaux?" And you said no, meaning obviously you didn't think they were going to give up a first-round pick for him, but no, Kayvon's playing great.
Yeah, he's having a good year. I thought he had a bad fourth quarter against the Broncos, but
the whole team did.
Yeah, whole team did, 100%. Pat says it's hard to see with the way that office is built. They're not seeing a lot of wins. I know comparing the NFL to college football is stupid, and I'm just going to do it. Look at LSU. They identified Brian Kelly is not the answer. So they moved on. How much more proof do we need to see that Joe Shane is not the answer? If you're not the solution to the problem, that means you're creating the problem. So get the hell out of here. It's that simple.
Yeah, and I look at that and I say, if you have enough money, you can do anything. No one should have more money than the New York Giants. They just got valued at, $10 billion?
There ain't no salary cap for the head coach spot either.
Yeah. So, shout out to you, Pat. Jerry coming in, $2 super chat, says the DC needs to go. Yeah.
I don't think there's any people out there except for the idiots that want Shane Bowen to
Are there
keep
any
his job.
Shane Bowen defenders out there?
Oh, there's some. There's some.
All right.
Michael, what up, man? Back again. Thank you for the love, bro. Our defense was supposed to be solid. Ooh, yes, it was. Our offense was a joke. So we focused on the offense, and we were put on side ball. Bowen's bad. Meaning Brian Daboll, the head coach, focused on the offense? Yeah, I mean, I think that the offense deserves some credit, but I think it's a lot more because of the quarterback than the coaching and the roster building at this point.
Look at some of Jackson Dart's best plays. They're the plays he extends. They come out of structure, and he finds someone open.
Has there been any play where he hits the top of his drop, steps up, and rips it to a wide open player?
No. If you charted his 20 best plays of the season, I bet you more than half of them are plays he created on his own, and not like this guy was open, or like the route worked well and he just kind of hit him. I bet you more of them are plays he just created something out of nothing. Then wow, what a great play! Dart executed it.
And when he does make a beautiful throw,
they drop it.
They drop it.
Yeah.
That throw to Theo Johnson on the out and up the left sideline, he couldn't have put that in his shirt pocket any better.
Yeah.
And Theo does what Theo does.
One thing I will give, Devin Singletary made a hell of a catch.
Hell of a catch.
Yeah.
Wasn't a great throw. Beautiful catch by Devin Singletary.
And
100% agree.
Yeah, I'll give him. I will shout that out because that was a hell of a catch. But generally, yeah, Theo Johnson drops 3 passes a game. So Joel,
but he's big and fast, and he had a high RAS score at the combine.
Joel coming in with 5 says, "Hey, Marsh, been following for a while. Love the content. With the loss at Denver and now the loss of Scat, do you think the team will start to unravel?"
It's a great question. I want to say no, because I don't think Jackson Dart allows that. And like, who am I to say a rookie quarterback can prevent a team from unraveling? But when you got a leader like that, and look, his tool bag is getting decimated. He no longer has his hammer and Cam Skattebo. He no longer has his chainsaw and Malik Neighbors. But he's not going to quit. And maybe the defense quits. Maybe they already have quit. I don't see that offense unraveling unless Dart or Andrew Thomas gets hurt. Now, those 2 things happen, all bets are off. They won't win another game.
I can't. Oh, God. I just hope that doesn't happen. That would be doomsday.
On the road, 32 points against the best defense in the NFL. How'd Dak Prescott look yesterday against the Broncos? How'd they look? You got something special. So get the idiots out of the decision-making spots and get people in there that know what the hell they're doing before you ruin this kid as well. Yeah, Dak sucked yesterday. You know who didn't suck against the Denver Broncos on the road? Jackson Dart. And he didn't have CeeDee Lamb. He didn't have George Pickens. So to fucking little Jordan Humphrey. All respect to little Jordan.
Our guy Tuto
Missouri
comes in. He says, "Salutes to Big Marsh and Lil Connell, Kings of New York Giants podcast. Greetings from our entire team, still in Sydney, Australia. We're 6-4 now. Please pray for my victim's mate." And then
Tuto, you're the GOAT, bro. You're the GOAT. I love you, dog. You're ever in Dallas, Texas, Tuto, you better hit me up. We got to hang out. We got to get dinner. We got to grab beers, and I got to go. Can you get your rugby team to come play in Dallas? That'd be pretty damn cool.
Can you get some of them on the Giants?
Yeah, can you get some on the Giants? That might be needed.
All right, and we got Bam Bam, 1013, $5 super chat. Says it's a shit situation on one hand. I want Joe Shane to trade for a wide receiver. On the other hand, I want the next GM to have as many picks coming in as possible. Yeah, that's a good point.
I 100% agree with that. And I have wrestled and gone back and forth with that as well, Bam Bam. This is my final thoughts on that. You're going to have to add a receiver this offseason. There's no guarantee Malik Neighbors is going to be ready to go. And if you start next year, Lord, please no. If you start next year with Darius Slayton as your wide receiver 1, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So you have to make a move. So whether the new GM makes the move or whether you make the move now, you have to make a move for a wide receiver 2 at some point. And look, I don't love the idea of trading a top 45 pick, which the Giants are heading for right now with the second round. But if you're telling me I add a wide receiver 2 of the future with that pick, and that's the go-to wide receiver 2 with Neighbors, that guy, and Dart for the next 5 years, I don't care if they make the trade now or they wait. And I lean towards doing it now to help Jackson Dart. Because, again, right now, he's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with 50-pound weights attached to each ankle, and he's still keeping his head above water. But the young man can only do so much with the little help he's getting. Throw the dude a raft. Throw him a raft. You need the receiver now, and you need the receiver in the future.
All right. We got this one coming in, and then we are caught up as of now. Shout out to Sports. Says, do you think we need a new field, grass with a dome?
I'd love a new stadium. I'd love a new one. Someone says, ew, you live in Dallas? Yep, that's where they pay me to live, to talk about the Giants. It's pretty damn sweet. I think Connell would agree.
Yeah, not too bad. It's pretty. It's not cold yet, so that's pretty nice.
I'd live anywhere if I got paid to support myself as a full-time job to talk about the Giants.
Yeah,
so.
I did live in New York. I'm here now. I moved to Dallas. So
You're not a real Giants fan.
Yeah, that's it. Sue me.
The dumbest comments I get is that right there. So, congratulations, you win dumbest comment of the day. I'd even live in Vinny Pip's house if it meant I got to do what I do.
Oof. Michael Pinto coming in with 5. You see that the Las Vegas is asking for a day 2 pick for Myers. Kind of crazy for an upcoming free agent. At that price, go potentially get me Waddle or Olave.
Sorry, breaking news came in from Jordan Schultz. Patrick Surtain out for 4 to 6 weeks. You see that Las Vegas is asking for a day 2 pick for Myers. Kind of crazy for an upcoming free agency. A 4th round pick for Myers.
Day 2 would be 2 or 3.
2 or 3. No, I'm not trading
Yeah.
I'm not trading day 2 pick for Myers. I'm not. Josh Wells says, "What's the great news, brother? You should watch the show. We've been live for an hour and 50 minutes. If you had your notifications turned on, you would have seen the great news at the beginning of the stream. So turn your notifications on."
Shout out to my guy E.S. Green, Strong Island. I am from Long Island, so shout out to Long Island. We got Tuto coming back. Says, salutes to Big Marshall and Lil Connell, Kings of New York. Oh, wait, no, that's the first one. Get that second one up. That's my bad. Says, Marsh, mate, I'm from Princeton, Jersey. Mate, I'll have you and your fam over at my house anytime. We're rocking together since day 1 on your channel, mate.
When I come to the Azuri house, what's for dinner? Let me know. I'm curious. Absolute. The good news is, Cam Skattebo, successful surgery. Didn't sound like one. It was emergency surgery, and it sounds like it went well. He has been discharged from the hospital, and his road to recovery starts now. He put out an awesome message for all New York Giants fans as well. And this was an injury that I don't think people understood the severity of it. He literally had a bone pierced through his skin. The reason they did emergency surgery is to avoid infection. Very similar to the way Alex Smith and his leg injury went down. Cam Skattebo tweeting out, "Thank you everyone for the support. Surgery went well. I just want to thank the city of Philly for taking the best care of me. Every moment I spent in the hospital with family and friends, I felt loved and supported in every way. Thank you to the doctors, surgeons, and staff that did their best work on me. This is just the beginning of my journey, and I can't wait to show you guys all about it. God has a plan for me. Stick to the course, and it'll all work itself out. BRB, let's effing go." So Cam Skattebo, successful emergency surgery. Maybe no infections. We don't have any word on that. But I feel like if there was an infection, they probably would have kept him in the hospital and not discharged him.
Yeah. Love my guy Scat too, but now that we've read that a few times, I think he means stay the course. But hey,
stay the course. Stick the course.
They don't pay him to
he also
to tweet.
Did you see his Instagram story?
No.
I don't know if it's AI, so I'm going to go look at it real quick. He put an Instagram story out sharing Jackson Dart's clip after the game, and his caption is, "I love tall boys."
Oh yeah. Oh.
Instead of "I love y'all boys."
Oh man.
The anesthesia is kicking
he
in
was
on
he was on those. They had him knocked out on that good stuff. So it's all right, Cam. We got you. We know what you mean.
My guys love tall boys.
Oh my God. It's still up there too. That was
Kiwa,
active.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. If you didn't mean that I'm not a real Giants fan because I live in Dallas, I apologize. I get that comment all the time. I think it's weird. I appreciate you, man. I'm sorry if you think I'm trying to single you out.
Listen, we've been ranting for 2 hours about the Giants and Joe Shane. It's just quick. It was a quick trigger there, but no, I think it's pretty sweet.
I love tall boys. I love tall boys. I love all y'all. I love all the tall boys. Let's go. Adrian, what up, man? Should we trade him, Kayvon, for draft capital? What would be reasonable? I almost let a reckless take on Kayvon Thibodeaux happen yesterday during the game, but I held it in. I just find it hard to build a football team if you're paying 3 edge rushers $100 million. And I'm also of the belief that, and I've learned my lesson on this, you keep good football players, no matter what the position, no matter the depth. So I understand all of that as well. If someone offered me a first-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux, I'm listening.
And I don't know, if you're a team in the back half of the first round who needs an edge rusher, why would you not do that? Are you guaranteed to get a guy as good as Kayvon Thibodeaux in the 20s? Probably not. Obviously, he's going to be more expensive than a first-round pick would be, but I think that would potentially make sense. But
TD minus, great. That's a good point. It's a good point.
So we'll see what happens with that. That's probably an off-season thing. I don't think they're going to trade him during the season. So,
look, if a team calls you right now and offers you a first-round pick for Kayvon, I think you got to listen. I'm not saying do it. I think you got to listen. Who's the team? Where are they picking?
Joey comes in with $4, says, Marsh, if we get the fumble, Scat doesn't get hurt. Yeah, you can't play that game.
That's... I don't know. That I don't really even understand the logic behind that. It's very unfortunate, and my heart is broken for the young man. And I don't. My brain doesn't work like that. I don't know. I appreciate the support, Joey. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the show. I don't know about that. Drips, did you hear Dom from the Eagles bought pizza and cheesesteaks for Scataboo? I did. Quick bait. No, I'm just kidding. They should be fined for tampering, though. I believe we should get their first-round pick. That's fair.
Maybe a few of the players, too.
Yeah, give us A.J. Brown as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Very nice of him. I think I saw that some Eagles players checked on him as well. It's the nicest thing any of those Eagles have ever done in their life.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't expect all that from them, so shout out to them. At the end of the day, I think everyone realizes what happened to Cam Skattebo, bigger than football, so shout out to them.
Definitely tampering, though. First-round pick, ours.
Yeah, some part of me still says they have ulterior motives, but
100% they do.
Oh,
they're sleazy as all get.
Taste this cheesesteak. Isn't that good, man?
We love you, Cam.
Yeah.
We love you.
Oh, God. I think we're caught up. Nope. We got one more coming in. Every time I think we're about to catch up, someone the real ones keep sending the super chats in. So.
Oh, it's Tuto Azuri.
Never gonna be upset where I get to chat it up with any of the real ones. So.
Shout out to Tuto coming with a super chat. Is Marsh, mate, our purses are 8 figures deep. We got to live in full-time chef in my house. Drink and eat all day as you wish. All you've got to do is snap me. I'm there. I want some chicken cutlets. Some cutlets, man. Oh, Lordy. Tuto, thank you, bro. Thank you for supporting the channel. All right, we've done a mailbag for 2 hours. So that's going to be a mailbag for today's show. Let's dive into this segment where I'm going to talk about Jackson Dart because talking about the Giants makes me upset. Talking about Jackson Dart makes me happy. So I want to be happy. So I'm going to talk about Jackson Dart. All right. Let's get ready to dive into this one. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, that's cool. That'll play. That'll work. What is this video? Let's do So let's do prize picks. We've already done 2 GLDs today. And we'll just do another. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to clip my just rant of ripping Joe Shane and make that a video. All right. Cool. And just roll right into the quote after the weigh-in here. Cool. Let's do it. Despite the New York Giants starting the season 2-6 or worse for 8 times in the last 9 years, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I truly do believe that. If you're still riding with the New York Giants, despite a couple of losses in a row, and you're still bleeding Giants blue, go down right now and hit that thumbs up icon. Jackson Dart, after the Eagles' loss, took the podium, and he fired me up, saying, we've got to start figuring out ways to win because I hate losing. I'm not used to it. I'm not just going to accept it. I'm not going to be okay with it. We, as a team, can't be okay with it. We've got to figure this out. I'm not ever going to quit. I don't care what the situation is. If I'm on that field, I'm playing as hard as I can. I'm going to try to lead the team the best that I can. A lot of times in sports, we say, that guy has it. He's got the it factor. Jackson Dart is the definition of having it. I'm not exactly sure how I put my finger on it, but it's one of those things, when you see it, you know it. And Jackson Dart, he has it. And I'm not the only one that's seeing it. Everyone across the National Football League is seeing it. Most importantly, the best guy to ever take a snap in the NFL is seeing it as well. Tom Brady on the broadcast yesterday saying, I always look at QBs and go, how would I answer that question? And when I hear Jackson Dart speak, especially after the loss last week against the Denver Broncos, he answered it the same way I would have. He also went on to say, I'm very impressed with Jackson Dart. I look at the mental and emotional parts of his game, and I'm loving those things. And then adds, if you're a Giants fan, I'd be excited about this young quarterback. He's got all the traits those QB1s have. He's got all of those QB1 traits I look for. And he reminds me of a young Josh Allen. Jackson Dart hates to lose. Jackson Dart is a leader. Jackson Dart has it. But most importantly, he's a damn good football player as well. And he plays the quarterback position at an elite level. And he's doing so without Malik Nabers. And now, without Cam Skattebo. Jackson Dart is the only quarterback in the Super Bowl era with 8+ passing touchdowns, 4+ rushing touchdowns, and less than 5 turnovers in his first 5 starts. Shout out to my man Authentic. Give him a follow on Twitter. Go support his show on YouTube. Makes awesome content. Awesome dude. Jackson Dart is the second quarterback since 1950 with a touchdown pass and a rushing touchdown in 4 of his first 5 career starts, joining MVP Cam Newton. What Jackson Dart is doing on the football field cannot be understated. If you take the stats that he has put together in 5 games started and you stretch that out over a 17-game pace, aka an NFL season, 3,346 passing yards, 27 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 663 yards on the ground, and 13 rushing touchdowns. 40 touchdowns is the pace that Jackson Dart is on right now. And that's only playing 1 quarter with Malik Nabers. He's putting together these numbers with the worst receiving group you could build around a rookie quarterback. And when you go back and you watch the tape and you look at what he did against the Philadelphia Eagles, he was so much better than these numbers suggest. Constantly living at a third down, constantly moving the chains, constantly creating, improvising, maneuvering in the pocket, and finding ways to make plays down the field. All of his highlight plays come out of structure. Imagine when guys get open and they're schemed open and he's playing football with Malik Nabers. Jackson Dart in Week 8 versus the Eagles was awesome. Awesome. 3 big-time throws, tied for the most of any quarterback in Week 8. He had a big-time throw percentage of 12, first of all starting quarterbacks in Week 8. And he had 0 turnover-worthy plays. So he makes big-time throws. He did it at the highest rate, and he didn't put the football in harm's way 1 single time. I got a lot more to say about Jackson Dart, but I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Shout out to Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. You and I make decisions every single day. And on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. They also have, an awesome promo deal going on. Shout out to them. I'll make sure all that information is clickable in the comments and description. When you download the app and you use code CLNS, you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's code CLNS, get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. And I'm hoping I'm right this Sunday because I've got my Prize Picks lineup ready to go. I'm taking the more on Jackson Dart passing yards, and I'm taking the more on Drake Mays passing yards as well. If both of these picks are correct for me, I'm going to 3x my entry fee. America's #1 fantasy sports app. Pick, predict, and play. Easy and exciting daily fantasy sports. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Shout out to Hayden Winks on Twitter. I love this tweet. Jackson Dart's film was better than his numbers. Lots of out-of-structure throws, but the box score owes him 100+ yards on in-pocket downfield drops and penalties. Plus, his wide receiver 2 has 0 yards on 64 routes in the last 2 weeks. How is that possible? Shane Half, a Giants Eagles content creator, saying the number of times the Eagles have Jackson Dart dead to rights and he gets away is maddening and only rivaled by the number of times they allow a completion right to the sticks on 3rd and long. Both happened far too frequently in this game. They won early downs frequently, only to give up third and long conversions. I judge rookie quarterbacks and young quarterbacks on what do you do on third down and what do you do in the fourth quarter. Jackson Dart has been elite on third down this year. The hardest thing to do in sports, the hardest thing to do in the NFL is find a franchise quarterback. And this is the closest thing the Giants have had to a franchise quarterback since number 10 was in this building. I truly believe if you can get people in charge at GM, head coach, that can build a roster and continue to develop this kid, that he can be a quarterback that can put trophy number 5 in the case at 1925 Giants Drive. You have to get the right people in the building, though. You have to, because I don't think you have it right now. I have no faith in Joe Shane to build a Super Bowl caliber roster. None. Why should I? All the good players he inherited, almost all of them, are gone. And he hasn't added much talent to this team outside of that. Whatever it is, Jackson Dart has it. And I know I'm a lot more critical of Joe Shane than I am Brian Daboll. I like this dude. I like Brian Daboll. I love their dynamic. I don't know if Brian Daboll's best for Jackson Dart. I love the chemistry. I love the relationship. I love that I do whatever it takes to win a football game. And those two being on the exact same page, having the same mindset. I just don't know if he's the right guy for him. You have some pieces here on offense. You have a quarterback. Cam Skattebo can get back to who he was. You have an elite running back. You have an elite left tackle. You extend the contract to Jermaine Illuminor. You have an elite right tackle. You have your bookend tackles. You have your quarterback. And you have a star receiver. You're really close. You're really close on offense. Got to be healthy. Got to be healthy. Get somebody in place that can take you over the top, though. Get somebody that can squeeze all of the production out of Jackson Dart. Because, again, I just don't believe that Joe Shane is the guy to do that. There's been far too many misses. And, yeah, he's had some hits. Broken clocks are right twice a day. He shouldn't keep the job because he's been right a couple of times, but wrong a lot of the times. If you're happy Jackson Dart is your quarterback, give me a 6 down in the comments section. I love watching this dude play football. I've never been this pumped up to watch a 2-6 team play football this weekend. I'm ready. I'm excited. We love you, Jackson. I got your back till the end, man, till the wheels fall off. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Lordy. Hey, Marsh, let's go get Dart some help. Hell yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Sign me up. I'm in. I'm in. Oh, Vinny. Lordy, alrighty, and Vinny, huh? Those are my words. When is the trade deadline? November 4th. So next Tuesday? Next Thursday? I think it's next Tuesday.
No, it's Tuesday, the 4th.
Tuesday.
Because
next Tuesday. We'll be live on the channel all day. A marathon live with Marshall and AC.
Love it.
Okay.
I think we have super chat.
Let's run the soups. Appreciate everybody that's in. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in today. You guys are real ones. I mean, shoot, we've had 10,000 people tune in today. That's a legend. That's legendary. Wentz out, trade Wilson to Minnesota. Clickbait! Yeah, if they would give you anything for him, absolutely do it. If they will give you some for Russell Wilson, I will escort him to LaGuardia, and then I'll drive to Minnesota, and then I'll take him to the Vikings.
I'll send him a housewarming gift in Minnesota or wherever he ends up.
Yeah, Bam, I would trade Russell Wilson for anything at this point. I will give him credit. I feel like he's being a good teammate.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him be
I don't know how
active
much
on the
is
sidelines.
genuine and all that, but
that's kind of his whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you need to be as a backup quarterback. If you're not going to be a backup quarterback for very much longer. Your main job as a backup quarterback, be a good teammate and be ready to play, which when he's had to come in twice, he has not been ready to play, so he needs to work on that part. But I think, well, actually, I guess it's not always true that people have said he's a good teammate. To me, I believe genuinely Russell Wilson's a good guy, and maybe there's been some differing stories throughout his career of what's gone on, but I think he's a good guy, and I think he just loves football and still wants to play. So I don't think that's going to be as a starter for anyone probably, but if he's probably good enough to be a backup quarterback for a few more years if he wants to keep playing. Our guy Mike G coming in says G-men need to not waste Dart's career. Who is the playmaker we need to take the start to the next level? Love this channel and appreciate you, my brother.
Mike G, we love you, bro. We love you, Mike G. Seriously. Still wishing we can get those beers. It's going to happen one day. Man, I don't know. You need a lot. You need a lot. My number one focus right now is getting Jackson Dart a weapon. Finding the wide receiver 2 of the future is my goal right now. And I think you need a tight end as well. I love Daniel Bellinger as tight end too. I do. I want a badass tight end that controls the middle of the field, in between the hashes, big body, sure-handed. When Jackson Dart's in trouble, he finds the tight end. That is a dream for me. Jackson Dart throws over the middle of the football field so well. He attacks that area. Get somebody that dominates that area. That's where I'm at on this. This offseason, I'm finding my tight end of the future, and I'm finding my wide receiver 2 to pair alongside Malik Neighbors. And I'm coming back next year with Andrew Thomas at left tackle, Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle, a dominant tight end, Malik Neighbors, a very good wide receiver 2, and Cam Skattebo. And let's go to war. That's where I'm at.
Denzel coming in with $2 says send Russ to Vegas.
Clickbait!
Lockett, wish him the best. Yeah, it's a little bit of a Seattle reunion over there. Tyler Lockett to the Raiders this morning. Pete Carroll, former coach in Seattle.
Pete Carroll loves his guys.
Yeah, and I don't know. What do you think? You think Mitch would rather have Geno or Russ play?
That'd be hilarious.
That would be funny.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, and John Thotty, a new DC, and potentially a new GM and potentially a new head coach.
All right.
I thought you were going to say all righty like me. All righty.
No, that's what before we do that, whatever the but first,
exactly. But first, all righty, Lordy, and Vinny, my 4 favorite words according to Vinny Pip, according to him. Okay, we're going to sign off on today's show. We've been live for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Appreciate every single person that tuned in today. I'm always worried about, are people going to want to tune in to us talking about the Giants after they just watched them get their ass beat? And you guys are here. And that means the world to me. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon for me on your way out. We'll have multiple videos on the channel every single day the rest of the week. We'll be live on Sunday for the game against the Niners. And since there's only that's not the way I'm going to say it. Since only the real ones are here, I'll say it right now. Giants are winning Sunday.